It took me around 10 months to make my first 10K per month with copywriting, and there were 20 things that I wish I knew earlier that would have got me to that 10K per month mark so much sooner, because by me missing out on these copywriting tips, I actually missed out on deals and lost clients because I took a quick look at my copy and just knew my skill was not there yet. So in this video, I want to give you a rapid fire list of these 20 copywriting tips that I wish that I had knew earlier. So without any further ado, let's hop right into it. 20 copywriting lessons I wish I knew to make 10K per month sooner. Copywriting is one of the most valuable skills for any entrepreneur, not just copywriters. All entrepreneurs should understand copywriting. These 20 lessons will help you craft compelling copy that captivates your audience, drives conversions, and more importantly, gets you paid as a copywriter as soon as possible. The goal of this video is to make your copywriting skill simply too good to ignore. When businesses see your copy, they will want to work with you. And I have done this and proven this so many times. It really does come down to creating awesome copy, creating awesome free value, sending it out to clients, and then they're going to want to work with you. One of the best outreach methods is just being great at your skill. And a lot of people underestimate this. So let me prove it to you even farther. This was me actually reaching out to one of the clients that I had about a 2K deal with. He said, "Hey Tyson, how's it going? Would like to see some samples." I sent them over some samples. They liked the samples. They wanted to know more. "Do you have a portfolio you could send over? And do you write other types of copy besides email?" I said, "Yes." I essentially gave them a link to book a call with me. They said, "Awesome, thanks. I booked a call with you. Our content strategist, myself, we have a small project we'd like to discuss soon." And this was my very first 2K deal for only 8 emails. Now, to note, if my copy wasn't very good, do you think I would have got this client? Hell no. The answer is no, unequivocally, right? And I wouldn't have been able to get any of my clients if my copy was terrible. And while my copy was still getting better, I'd actually missed out and lost out on a couple of really good opportunities just because it just wasn't there yet, right? I didn't know these 20 lessons that I'm about to show you here. Not to mention some of my students as well. And this is just another point of proof. All he did was send her an email sequence, right? Send her some email copy. She said, "Okay, these are so good. Thank you so much. I may have a project for you." Paid, haha. And this is someone who made thousands of dollars just because they sent somebody a really good piece of email copy that was for their brand that they actually went ahead and used, really liked. And of course, it proved them, right? This is how you build trust off of the bat. And this is exactly what I'm going to show you how to do in this very video. So lesson number 1, copy is not written, as the name suggests. It is synthesized and assembled. If your process to write copy is to open up a blank Google document and start writing, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it all wrong. Start with a simple swipe file, idea or structure, and then fill in the blanks. I can't stress this enough. So many people think that copywriting is writing. It's really not. It's just assembling. You have frameworks, you have formulas. I know dozens of frameworks and formulas that I use every single day when I write copy. All it really is fill in the blank after you've done your research. Now, look, if you want to watch me assemble emails from scratch, I have a video of me doing this from the very beginning, basics, what it looks like from me researching with the copy and researching the target audience, researching the brand itself so I get their brand voice, and then also just writing these emails from scratch and filling out templates and filling out structures and frameworks. Now, if you want to watch that, the videos are here on my YouTube, but also I have the free copy starter kit where you can not only watch all of the videos, have all of the free courses, but you also have tons of links to all the downloadable content and all the downloadable tools and formats and templates that you can use to, again, just make way better copy, and also my own personal swipe files that are just filled up to the brim with different pieces of copy. We have over 100 swipe file emails in there. So 100 different emails in there that you can look at, you can read, you can take advantage of, you can exploit for whatever they're worth, everything, guys. So make sure you go down below and download the free copy starter kit, see what it's about. So next, number 2, the realer the urgency, the more effective it is. Look, lazy copywriters tell you that the ebook is going to sell out soon, or the course pricing is going to go up soon. Great copywriters highlight the true reasons why the longer you wait, the harder your problem gets to solve. So, for example, I call this situational urgency. Email deliverability has genuine urgency to fix. Let me give you the example and explain it. Email deliverability, meaning if you're sending out emails to your email list and those emails are ending up in the promotions tab or the spam tab, they're going to get a smaller open rate because less people check those tabs. The reason why they land in those tabs is because of low email deliverability. I'm not going to get too technical in here, but let's just say your reputation isn't very high because either you're new to the email marketing world, right, and you're just starting. So the email service providers think that you are a spam bot, or you are sending out content with too many links, too many pictures, too many spam words, and it's just going to automatically categorize your emails as spam. There are ways to fix this, but the warning is the longer that you wait to fix it, the harder that it is to get out of spam and get into somebody's primary inbox and actually boost your open rates by 10, 20, or even 30% sometimes, right? So this is a way where you can use urgency because of this situation just in and of itself, where there is a genuine urgency. There is a genuine reason as to why waiting is going to be hugely disadvantageous to you. Next, don't think of your audience, think from the audience. This is absolutely huge and something that so many people don't understand. Put yourself in their shoes. Instead of thinking moms are busy and probably don't have much time to make food for their kids, think of it from their perspective. You work all day long. As soon as you get off work, you pick up the kids from school. You have 15 minutes to get them to soccer practice. You grab them some fast food and feel guilty because you know it's not the highest in nutritional value, but you're forced to get it to them because you just don't have the time to cook, right? And you could go even farther and even farther and even further. Like if something's fast and cheap, it's not going to be nutritional. If something's cheap and nutritional, it's not going to be fast. So you can essentially just go over and go through every single thing that goes through their head. And this is why you need to think from the audience and not just of the audience, because thinking of the audience will only give you surface level things, right? So moms are busy. They don't have much time. Like, moms, are you busy? Do you not have much time to cook for your kids? Which one's more effective? Or actually going through what their daily schedule and their daily struggles actually look like from a first person perspective. Next is to write sententiously, which means use as little words as possible to communicate the biggest message. This is simply the skill of copywriting. And I'll give you a true example of when I was literally reviewing one of my one-to-one students' emails, right? I was on the call with him reviewing it, and here's what his email said, and here's what we changed it to. Here's what we decided afterwards. So he said, you have to make sure people see your value and what you bring to the table. Then, once your brand is established, so many doors will be opened. Projects, partnerships, collaborations. All of these happen when people know who you are and what you stand for. And I just highlighted the whole thing, and I said, all right, what are you trying to say? And then I said, the more people know you, the more opportunities you get. That's it. I just replaced 3 long lines with 10 words? Simple and concise. That's what it's all about. Simple and concise. And the word that means this is called sententiously, right? Writing sententiously. So that's what you want to write. That's how you want to write. That's the strategy that you want to implement. Next, copy compensation is when people write a lot of stuff in because they don't feel like their copy is good enough yet. Instead, you should be choosy. Okay, so this is something I see all the time. People say, hey, are you somebody who's struggling to get girls or feels kind of lonely or really wants a girlfriend or really wants a wife, or they keep going on dates and they can't really find somebody that's good for them and they really want somebody to spend their life with? And it's like you're just adding in so much stuff and you think this makes your copy better when in reality, it makes it so much worse. It makes it so much worse. Instead, you have to be choosy. Pick one person, pick one thing. If you find yourself saying or a lot or and a lot or just using a lot of commas and making a lot of lists, chances are you're not being choosy. You're trying to cram in as much stuff as possible. So if you want to be able to date a lot of girls or just have a wife or just have a life partner that you can spend your time with or you want to cut those as much as possible and just be choosy. Next, ask yourself, what's the one sentence that makes them think that's what I need? Every audience has that one sentence that's going to be like, oh yeah, that's the one right there. And if you're able to make a couple of these sentences and then put them into bullets, you're able to make the most attractive, the most effective bullets possible. And just one sentence is something to push someone over the edge to take action. So every audience has that one thing that they'd give anything for / anything to solve. So for example, how to get past 200 views on TikTok, or how to get your first 1,000 subs on YouTube in 90 days, right? These are huge milestones that people really want, or things that people are stuck at, okay? So next, learn how to describe the pain or pleasure in a unique way. This is extremely important. I see so many people saying, feels really good once I got this promotion at my job, or I finally did it. I was super proud. This is what I call vanilla copy. Here, let me just read my excerpt here. So, it sucked. Into, it was like God was playing a cruel joke on me. Or, I lost weight and was happy. To, I kept stepping back on the scale and I still couldn't believe what my eyes were telling me. I actually lost weight. I'd been the lowest weight I had been since high school, and it was incredible. One of the worst things you can do is create vanilla copy. Vanilla copy is when you just say, it felt good, I was happy, I was finally happy, I was able to leave off the weight. It was amazing. It's like, what are the hyper specific things that you felt, right? There's really a copywriting principle called hyper specificity. And essentially it just describes how the more specific you are with a thing, the more believable it is. Whereas the opposite is also true. The more vague you are, the less believable it is. If someone's telling you a lie or something, the thing that they're going to do is be as vague as possible. That way they have as many options as they can. If someone said that they worked out when they really didn't, what would they say? Oh yeah, I went to the gym. Really? What'd you do at the gym? Oh, I did arms. Okay, cool. But if they were a really good liar, right, or they actually did go to the gym, they'd say, oh yeah, I went to the gym. I tried my pre-workout, but I didn't have anything to eat earlier. So I'd had pre-workout on an empty stomach and I was actually feeling crazy, man. I felt crazy. I got the craziest arm pump ever. I actually have a new vein right here, right? So if they go on and on and on and are super specific, you're like, okay, this person definitely actually did go to the gym. But if they start acting all weird and being super vague, you're like, you start to question it, right? Next. Make the readers on your list feel like you have a real relationship and not just that they're a booty call. Okay. So a lot of you guys should kind of understand these terms from like modern day dating. I'm not going to get too much into it. You should already understand what I'm trying to say, right? When someone feels like a booty call, it's like you're texting them at 3 a.m. saying like, yo, what's up? Come over. Whereas you want to make them feel like they're in a real relationship, as in you want to give them flowers on a random Tuesday and not ask for anything in return. Okay. So understanding the relationship between you and your audience is crucial. Every time you ask for something, you sacrifice a little bit of goodwill. One of the most common sins committed in marketing is over asking. It's equivalent to trying to withdraw from an empty bank account. Okay. So the more value you give to your audience, the more value you give to your email list, the more they're going to like you, right? That means if you make an occasional ask, it will actually land, and a lot of people will give you what you're asking for, or, you know, whether it's an action, whether it's to buy something, no matter what it is. But if you just ask and ask and ask and ask and ask and don't give any value, then the opposite will happen. This is how you get low open rates, you get low click-through rates, your whole list basically hates you, and that's not what you want. Next is to describe Hell Island and Heaven Island in order to learn more about your audience. Let me explain. Hell Island describes in detail where your audience will end up if their problem isn't fixed soon. Heaven Island is the opposite. Use these to fill out your copy. So example, Hell Island, I'm stuck with this extra body weight, right? I can't go up a flight of stairs without feeling like I'm going to pass out. I can't do things with my family anymore. And one day I'm going to go to the doctor and I fear that, you know, they're going to tell me I have actual health issues, right? Or I have random chest pains in my heart. I get random headaches. I feel terrible. And then as time goes on, it only gets worse. I only gain more weight and gain more weight and gain more weight, and all of the downsides that come with that. Whereas what's Heaven Island like? Heaven Island, I finally not only reached my dream weight, but I'm also happy there, meaning I don't feel like I'm starving every single day. I'm able to be not overweight and still eat the things that I want and be full all day and just be happy. And then I'm able to, whatever it is, meet better people. I'm able to do more things. I'm able to go out more. I feel more confident. I have more friends. I have better friends. I have better relationships because I feel happier, right? What are all the amazing things that are going to stem from solving this one problem? This is how you can essentially widen the gap between where people are, where they want to be, and then place yourself in between that gap, and then boom, sold. Write drunk and edit sober. Perfectionism rarely breeds perfection, only procrastination. When writing copy, get your thoughts out. Ignore all the red and blue underlines from your typos and just freaking write. Done is better than perfect, and a good plan today is better than a great plan tomorrow. It always frustrates me when I see people say, man, it took me like 3 hours to write this email. And I look at the email and my friend, it's Dookie anyways. You took 3 hours to write a Dookie email. Bro, just write your Dookie email in 30 minutes. Let me tear it apart, and then I'll go off and give you some tips and some pointers on how to make your emails great, right? Make emails great again. And I'll just be able to do that for you. So don't spend all this time trying to make the perfect email, because it's probably not going to be very good anyways, right? It's always weird to me that people send in their best copy, their best piece of copy to get reviewed. When in reality, you should send in your average piece of copy, right? I talk about this with my one-to-one students all the time. If we hop on a call and I'm like, show me some of your copy, and you pull up your best piece that you've made in the last month and I destroy it, or I even say that it's good, It's like, that's not a great reflection of your actual skill because you sent me your best email. Send me your average email. Send me the email that you wrote yesterday. Send me the email that you wrote a week ago. This way, I can actually address some of the things that show up in your emails that aren't very good. Because the thing is that not all of your emails are going to be as good as your best emails. Your average email is what you want to improve, not just your best email. Next, what even is value? Because value is a word that's thrown around a lot. Give people value in the email list, give your clients value. What even is value? Something that someone can use to get closer to their desired outcome. If they don't need it, can't use it, and it doesn't actually help them and took you nearly zero effort to make, it ain't value. Okay, so it needs all of those things in order to be value. So next time you think, oh man, I'm giving all this value out to my clients or to these potential prospects, why aren't they hiring me, or why don't I have clients yet? I'm giving out all this value, Tyson. Tyson, I'm giving out value. Is it really value? Next, people don't buy things for what they're worth. They only buy if they feel that the value is more than the price. So this is why mastering things like value stacks and bullet copy is so important. So this is why you see things like inside this, or with this item, you're going to get this, which is worth $300,000, this, which is worth $600,000, but you get it today for $97, right? Now, obviously, you don't want to exaggerate it. You don't want to make it too much, but you always want to make it seem as though you're giving them something for a deal that is worth more than what you are asking for. If somebody feels like something's worth $10 and it costs $10, they're not going to buy it. They're only going to buy it if they think that it's worth, or feel as though it's worth $20 or $100. Next, never underestimate the power of a good story. Stories are how people learn because they automatically insert themselves into it. Stories are the most difficult to execute forms of copy, but are nevertheless the most important and rewarding to master. Basic story rules for you guys. Tell a story, not a chronology. A chronology is, I went to school, I didn't get very good grades, so I dropped out and decided to do something instead. A story is, throughout all of my educational career, I got terrible grades, but it wasn't because I was dumb. It was simply because I didn't see the value in school. It didn't make any sense to me. How am I going to make a lot of money if I'm doing what everyone else is doing? I'm not guaranteed a job if I come out of college. I have to pay tens of thousands of dollars to go to college. None of it made any sense to me. And when I saw somebody who was actually rich, who had the things that I wanted, they never got it from school. So I never tried, and I knew I had to do something else. Right? That's the difference between a story and a chronology. A chronology is just what happened. A story is how the people feel, how the characters feel, and fleshing it out. Say what needs to be said and nothing more. I hate reading storybooks, right? Because like Harry Potter, for example, because they talk about, oh, he walked in the room, he could see his breath because it was cold. He tasted the air. It was frosty. He felt the heaviness of the fog between his fingertips. Like, what does that even mean? Bro, it's just too much talking. Just get to the point, all right? Don't put in too much descriptive words. Don't get too creative with it. Say what needs to be said and nothing more. Next, every story should have a clear reason as to why you're telling it. Clear reason, a clear lesson. Like, you shouldn't just tell a story just to tell a story. That's what sometimes people do, right? So many stories have a learning lesson in them, and those are probably the most important stories. Now, if you want to watch me write banger stories, because this is easier said than done, I have a whole video on my YouTube called Watch Me Write $300 Story Emails from Scratch. I essentially just write story emails that could be sold for $300 each. That take me 30 minutes to write. It's insane. So go watch that video after this one. Next, you should be able to know when objections come up and exactly how to overcome them. So, objection handle and coming up with great justification is one of the most effective skills you can have as a copywriter. You need the ability to know which objections are going to come up and exactly how to handle them. In order to be wealthy, you have to first be lazy. For example, let's say if I'm going to tell you that, I should understand all the objections that you're going to have in your head. But wait a second. The people I admire don't seem lazy. I thought in order to be rich, you had to work a lot. How come all of these motivational posts I see are talking about grind while they sleep, dog? Why are all these things? These are all my objections, right? So you should be able to make a list of objections that people are going to say, and then you're going to need to prioritize that list. What's the most likely first objection that people are going to say? So some justifications to handle the objections. Think of it this way, right? Studies show working hard is like, and then next, it's just like Warren Buffett said, quote and borrowed authority. So let's go through these one by one. One, think of it this way. This is where you give them like a different way of looking at it, right? Just a different perspective. Think of it this way. The hardest workers in your city are the trash man, the janitor, and the person who works the cash register. Are they the richest? No. These people are working hard, but they're working hard on the wrong things and they have low leverage. Next, studies show that millionaires work 80% less, or about 80% of the time they work less than construction workers. I don't know, maybe that's a study. You'd have to look up some actual studies. Next, working hard is like, and give an analogy. Let me think of one real quick. Working hard is like trying to mow your lawn with a pair of safety scissors. You're working really, really hard, but you're not very efficient at it. If you had a ride-on mower, you could basically not have to work at all, just sit around, turn the wheel, and you're still getting so much more done in a less amount of time. So if you want to actually do that, instead of cut your lawn with safety scissors, here's how. Right? Another way to think of it, that's called an analogy. Next, it's just like Warren Buffett said, and then give him a quote. Maybe Warren Buffett said, bro, don't be working hard, be lazy, and hire a bunch of people. Maybe he said that one time, I don't know. But you can use borrowed authority by using somebody that most people actually trust, and also a quote, because quotes are great because it's just a very succinct way of changing people's mindset and reframing it. Next is to read your copy out loud. When you read your copy in your head, it's easier to understand. When you read it out loud, it's like you're reading a totally different piece of copy, right? Read it out loud, you'll understand, you'll catch more things, especially flow-wise. People want to know how to improve their flow, meaning how the email reads. Read it out loud. And then another way to actually improve your copy is to check back on your copy the next day and fresh check it. I call this a fresh check. When you write copy, you'll know exactly what you're trying to say, right? If you've sat there and written a piece of copy over 30 minutes, it's going to be familiar to you. When you fresh check it the next day, you'll read it as if it's your first time and notice mistakes that you didn't previously realize. Super powerful. Speaking of improving your copy and getting clients, I am now taking on students for my one-to-one copywriting mentorship, right? We don't take on a lot of people. So, all the people who have applied, you either get chosen or you don't. But if you want to learn more about that, the link is the first link down in the description. I'm not going to talk too much about it here because pretty much everything you need to know is down below in that link. Essentially, me and my team will help you one-to-one. You get access to us, our phone numbers, one-to-one calls, etc. So if that's something that interests you, make sure you go down and apply right there. Now, the next tip is to sell the thing that sells the thing. I can't stress this enough. Your copy should never feel like a commercial where you're telling people to buy. And so many people get this wrong. We here at this company, we've been established for the last 4 years. We've helped people and we care about you. It's like that just sounds awful. That sounds like a commercial. Our product is super good and it really helps people. Instead, you want to do the following. Identify with their problem. Show them that you know exactly what they're going through by relating to them. Next is to show you know what they've tried. Most people who have this question try this thing, and this thing. Next, explain why conventional wisdom rarely works. Right? When you try these 3 things, they sound amazing, right? And these are what's told to you by most people. But in reality, they are not the best. And let me explain why. You explain why with the justifications that we went over earlier in this video. Next, give them an actual solution with reasons why. So instead of doing those 3 things, you want to do this thing. And again, you give them justifications that are similar to the ones that we went over. Then you reveal how the solution ties into your product. You only bring up your product then, when you create the gap and then you put your product inside of it. You don't just talk about your product and how great it is off rip, because as soon as you mention your product, people's sales guard goes up. They don't want to hear about it, and nobody likes to be sold to, but everybody likes to buy things. So this is how you can exploit that. Next, if your copy is for everybody, then it's for nobody. Make sure you qualify who you are targeting and who your copy is for. Can't stress this enough. Right? When people feel like it's for everybody, or you feel like you're trying to sell to everyone, or hey, if you are breathing and you have a pulse, this is for you. That's not how people want to feel. People want to feel like you're saying no to all the people who don't like it and yes to all the people who it's for, right? So your copy should literally repel the people who it's not for. So for example, if you're watching this video and you're a drop shipper, look, bro, this ain't for you. Move on, my man, okay? Go watch some other drop shipping video. This ain't for you. This is for copywriters, entrepreneurs. Next, you're gonna wanna check out all the videos on screen for more copywriting value, all right? This is the free copy starter kit where you can essentially go and get all of my free courses, all of my free playbooks, everything, absolutely everything. That link is down below in the description. I'll put some videos on screen that you can watch next. That's it for today. And of course, I'll check you guys out on the next one. Peace.